really, if you look back now at the MA, how did this thing work for you? Because it's obviously worked, clearly from what you've been saying. It worked and it's working, and I'm not saying it's everything, but it has been an important influence for a while. Against all the odds, it has helped you achieve a lot of change. How would you respond to, well, what was it? What is special about it? What made the difference? Because if you just think about the learning logs and the essays and the books, you think, oh, I could be really clever about all sorts of things. That's what the program looks like. But in fact, it seems to have done a lot more. So there's something about a relationship between the university program and yourself and your work. Something's happened to connect those three together in a way which has supported you and allowed you to be more vulnerable and to accept things.
Perhaps if you look at the way it works, what you get is you're there. You've got all these, like your diagram. You've got all these things going around you, and when you haven't got the MA, you've got your interactions. You've got all these different things, and there's nothing to stop you pause. So you carry on doing the same old things, basically. You try and get better, but you're doing the same old thing, and there's nothing new to pull on. You're not getting, you might read the paper, you might pick up a textbook, you might read a Minute Manager book or whatever. But what it does, it in that cycle of life, it's putting a block, a filter, or whatever you want to call it, where those things that are going on in that loop have actually been stopped, checked, challenged, and you could even say there's another loop going up above it, yeah? And what that does is, if you use that model, you've got your circle coming, your arrow coming in, and where it used to just go down, it's going right through a new process.
What could this mean?
Yeah.
What else could I do?
And so there's little old me getting the way I am challenged, wanting, I think it's key, wanting to be better, wanting to succeed. Not this ain't. I didn't do this because I just wanted to do. I want to be successful. I want to have a good career, and so you engage that information, you engage that process, and if you engage it fully, and you take it all on board, and not look at it as a badge, what you get out is a new way of doing, a new way of thinking, a new way of being, and that I reflect. I outwardly to my mates, I haven't changed. I'm the saddest guy you'll have a pint with, but people who see my missus knows I've changed, and I would suggest that the people who I work with would suggest I've changed, and so that's what I think that's what it does. It's because you get that check, to check all the, you don't check everything. Perhaps don't even check the technical things you do. You just check the way you are, the way you do stuff. And it gives you different ways to do things, different ways to do stuff, different ways to think, and challenging the assumptions. Gives you tools to challenge other people's assumptions, develop other people, see the situations from different angles. Maybe see the world from different perspectives, gives you a different lens. I can't put it into concise.
You're doing a great job. You're doing a great job. Yeah, and it makes me think, because you quite like the model done by Torvid, and you say some people think I haven't changed at all. Well, you haven't at that level. The sort of matey. You can still do all that, but as you say, with this higher loop, you've gone up you've got quite a few loops. And that's been mainly inside, less visible to people who are not going to notice that higher level of thinking and behaviour. But it feels like this model of a couple, 2 or 3 loops, which allow you to still stick with the groundwork, stick with the mucky stuff, but think differently about it and experience it differently at several levels up, so that your sense of who you are is changing,
Yeah.
as well as the fact that you touch things in a different way.
You know, you're happier and more confident in the, well, as an individual, in my work environment. I'm happier and more confident. And I'm not happy every day, and I'm not confident every day.
Yeah.
But you know, generally, what it's given me is a confidence in being me, I guess, and that surprised me. You know, and even now, you know, a few months or whatever, how many months it is afterwards, it leaves a buzz. Well, an example would be when I finished my MBA. You know, I was full of models and all this stuff. I enjoyed my MBA.
Yes, sure.
I did. We had a fantastic time. I met lovely people. It broadened my horizons. You know, it provoked me to move from where I was into a different job. But it was very much concentrated on the mechanics of stuff. You know, mechanics of business and the business world. And this is more like I've used this before, but the oil that flows through those mechanics. It keeps everything moving. And for me, it's in my interactions, it's enabled me to move around the different people in different situations
More
like fluidly, easily.
Yeah. So although you're working with, well, it's not concrete, but it's materials, you're actually become more watery in a way.
Yeah. If you look at it as sort of a boxing analogy, you know, you see these fighters that are very mechanical, and you know they can, you know, but then you see the real good ones that flow, and you know, fluidic, and you know they've just got it's coming from everywhere.
Yes.
You don't know where it's going to come from, and it's like that, isn't it? It's just giving you a sort of a rounder rounder style, better style.
And you can, yes, and I think you just said you can use all of your resources. You're not saying, no, that's not me, I'm like this. You can be more what's needed. So the situation can call from you the response, you know, and then you find out what that is, and you might be a bit frightened by it, or whatever. But you're allowing the situation to call out a response in you, which is a much braver, more courageous way of going about things, and people notice it.
I had a pint with, do you remember from one of my